All right, haven't actually videoed for a little while. I'm actually broadcasting to you live from the Redland Orchid Festival. So we're going to take a walk around and take a look at some of the vendors. Let you see what's going on here today. He's actually coming in from the back entrance.
Especially if you got them for breeding. I mean, you can do dry feed, but you don't get it.
Awesome. Okay.
Really good.
It is, yeah. I was looking at it a couple days ago.
Marta alerta en Nacional de Belleza.
Oh, I thought you left.
No. All right, thank
I'm not gonna find her.
Florida Suncoast Orchids. Orchids. Nice selection of pandas.
They got a bright purple here, all through here. They all have pictures on them.
Half the light looks like that pink right there. Okay. This Robert, that Robert's like star thing right there, that purple one, that looks like something like this. Yes, that's what I want. And it's called what?
Great selection of pandas. This vendor actually has a couple Sobralia, which is now Brassolia, Caliglosses in there.
Yeah, compared to yesterday, it's hot today.
I know.
DNA Orchids.
It's insane.
It's insane, but here. Yeah, I need one out.
These wonderful chromatophyllums. It's great hanging from the tree.
So that was the best outcome. I was already thinking, oh my God.
Broward Orchid Supply. Dan and Margie Orchids. Squatter Orchids. This is actually one of the aisles. Springwater Orchids.
Thank you for your free advertising.
Not a problem.
Hey, make sure you take some pictures of Robert too, okay?
What's that?
Yeah, scan him.
Over at Odom's.
I've heard earful on that. Yeah, you're right. Don't take it. You're right.
Yeah, some really nice plants in here in Springwater. That's Peristeria pendula.
Hi, John.
Wave, Sherry.
Yeah, that's good.
Someone's just getting to grow. Oh yeah, for sure.
She's only You need a price on that?
I'll do that.
All right.
Some vendors, there's Floralia, they're actually almost sold out right now. And this is only Saturday. Vesta Thai, they actually are pretty sold out as well.
Or some people are walking
There's agriculture.
Yeah, take what you want. I don't have
And these workers have got a good amount that have sold.
I was like, where is she? Hi, Sam. Did you get Sam? You and Sam are hanging out together?
Orchids de Val. If you want some Colombian Sobrella species, she's usually got some. I think she's pretty much sold out. I think she's got Andrea left. Coming up on Carib. And H&R Nurseries.
Wow.
No, Chris, they don't have any hypnotoads. And here's Coral Smith. Some other orchid associated things. You can get your own towels and aprons and shirts that have orchid prints on them. Lots of orchids down here that really want to have a home. There's Kawamoto Orchid Nursery from Hawaii. Over here we have Whimsy Orchids. Got some nice collecting stuff. Back to Kawamoto. Ninth calsum. Actually, the calsum that I have, I got that size about 5 years ago. Took a couple years for it to bloom, and now it blooms 3 to 4 times a year. A really nice plant. I'm glad I actually bought it. This grower actually has a whole bunch of gungoras, things like that. Gardens. Pennington Farm.
I think we're right here.
Here's Sunset Valley Orchids. So if you like some of your catasetum crosses, we have a good selection of catasetum crosses.
Acabou, Reinaldo?
Amazonia Orchids.
Good morning. Our first lecture of the day is at 10 o'clock. John Nelson from Louisiana Orchid Connection is speaking on the orchids of Madagascar. Very interesting program. It's in the auditorium.
Got a whole bunch of orchids in there and some other very interesting exotic plants.
Again, John Nelson speaking on the orchids.
EFT orchids.
The auditorium at the front of the park.
Same thing, they have a whole bunch of orchids, and then look at that orchid cactus. Really nice mandarillas in the back. I love those orange cactus. Right next to EFT, we have Max orchids. A whole bunch of different species from the Philippines, some hybrids.
You have another album? Yeah, give me all the ones.
And there's Mac. Wave, you're live.
Love
Mac and
Redlands.
Helen. Here's Hamlin orchids. They are from Jamaica. Have a whole bunch of Jamaican species and a whole bunch of crosses that they make. RF orchids.
We're so far out the sticks, when I go meet people.
Look at that fasciolatum.
I don't. I'm really not taking you out here to rob you, right?
Afro orchids, a whole bunch of orchids from Africa. They sold out of a lot of stuff yesterday. Oz orchids. Back to RF. Redland sun orchids from the Philippines. A lot of really nice species in there. Some of it doesn't look like much. They do have a lot of miniatures. If you like collagenys, it's a really nice one growing collageney. If you're into growing flasks, there's a lot of growers here that have some flasks. Some path flasks. Look at those paths. We're looking for some of those really nice terrestrials. Here's some orchis, orphris, habanerios. So you're going to find stuff down here that you're not going to find at most of your other shows.
Have a great day.
There's flower orchids. Actually bought a couple things from them. There's Raphael.
They meet on Tuesday night, and my issue is my deliveries to my floors are on Tuesday. So I'm out.
Like I said, growers with flasks. Bella Vista orchids out of Brazil. pretty much sold out now. We have Alder orchids. Waldorf's out of New Jersey. I used to buy some stuff from them when I was up in Pennsylvania. We have Cal orchids. There's Loris.
So they, the best thing to do is if you put them in the ground, the leaves are going to show some red stress.
Thank you, La Orquídea from Venezuela.
You like that yellow? The yellow one is the other. You're sitting there, you go, look, I don't remember going to Sarasota. And you ask, they show you.
They show you, right?
That's it. You want to see anything?
We have Sorrel orchids over here. My sound might not be as good. Hey Michael, how are you? Orchids needing sunlight or shade, it depends on the actual type of orchid. I have several orchids that actually grow in full sun all year long. I have other ones that will only take shade. It's a very good question. And if any of you other viewers out there have any questions, feel free to ask your questions and I can answer them while we're live.
Pretty much hand-pollinated intercoats in the morning.
I bought one last year here, and it's like
And the Redland Fruit and Spice Park, I mean, you have really nice scenes like this. So if you're with an orchid grower and you're not really into the orchids, at least you can come out and see the gardens.
what is growing.
It's going great.
It's up from the bottom of the floor all the way up to the floor. Oh, fertilizer. Okay, so you send it to the
Now, along with your sunlight question, the amount of water that a plant's going to get is going to depend on how much light it is getting and how much wind. It's been really windy the past couple of days. I know when I get home, I've actually been away for the weekend, so when I get home I know I'm going to have to actually do a lot of watering. We have some things for the yard. Some little African-made baskets. Real flowers and resin. So what they do is they actually take your orchid flowers and preserve it in resin.
Friday night just
So that's actually from a real orchid flower.
but Saturday and Sunday
So if you're really into orchids and you don't have space or something, you can actually get some earrings or some jewelry made out of, hello, how are you? Made out of orchids. So the Redlands Orchid Show is actually the largest orchid show in the United States. I think I said that earlier. It's usually the third weekend in May. Just wanted to give you a little bit of that while I walk over to this next section. So here's Ecuagenera from Ecuador. I bought a lot of Sobrelias from these people. So they have a whole plethora of different growing condition plants. Right there you can see some Azaleas, which tend to like it a little cooler than what we have in Florida. They do ship all over the world and country. Looks like they've sold a lot since yesterday as well. Miranda Orchids. We have Ophi International, so just like Broward Orchid Supply, you can get a lot of your orchid supplies here. We have Moats Orchids. Hi Stacy, nice to see you online. Glad you joined. That's Moats Orchids there.
Yeah.
Orchids. Got Sunray. Got one of those homes in spike right now.
Smaller plants.
All of the cattleyas are 35.
You know, there's a lot that we have that.
We're coming up on Quest Orchids.
That's our just punctual wide. You're not going to get more lighter. Well, this is more pocket.
Yeah.
So that's where this
Okay, not right now.
No, that's all right.
For those of you who have heard about it, haven't seen it, not an orchid, but there's some jackfruit growing right on the tree. The largest fruit that grows on a tree, they actually grow up to be about 100 pounds. They're actually the source for juicy fruit gum, so when you taste them, they taste just like juicy fruit. We're going to come into the judging tent. This is a tent where people have their orchids on display.
Yeah, I did.
Yes,
last, big convention. This last?